College Football 25 has changed a ton over the past few months. I want to break down the new 5 best playbooks you need to be running on offense if you want to score more touchdowns and win more games. So if you're looking to win more games or just have more fun, run something a little bit different, you should watch this video. So we're starting off here with a little bit of Maction, which actually the MAC schools, I feel like for the most part, don't have very good playbooks, but the Buffalo Bulls, not to be confused with the Buffalo Bills, have a great offensive playbook that we're going to break down. Now, the point of this video or how it's going to work is I'm going to give you a few plays inside of each playbook we talk about that you can use as a really good foundation if you start running this playbook. Also, if you run a custom, just add these plays to your custom. And if you don't run this playbook and you run something else, steal the concepts or see if you have these plays in your playbook because a lot of plays are just, in a bunch of different teams' offensive playbooks. So keep that in mind. Now, let's start here from the Buffalo Bulls offense. We're going to go to gun ace. This is the very first offensive formation. And this has a really nice run game where we have a read option, which is cool. I don't ever really call power reads. I feel like the blocking is very hit or miss. You'll get a lot of penetration and you'll just get hit in the backfield a lot. And it's just tough. 0-1 trap is cool from this. It's not my favorite. And the inside zone is also pretty decent. So the run game here is cool, but I'm going to show you one of the most annoying passing concepts you can do if we just call quick slants, okay? And you're probably thinking, Civil, I don't want to just call quick slant. Or what are we doing? Why are we just calling quick slants? And the reason for this is because we can actually make one of the most annoying routes in the game, which is what's called a stemmed up speed out, okay? Now, the stemmed up speed out is done by taking an outside wide receiver, so wire triangle, and we can select either X or B, put him on a speed out, and then we're going to press wire triangle again, select him, hold left bumper, that's going to activate the custom stem, and push him up about 10 to 15 yards. Something around here works, okay? Now what we're doing is we're creating a high-low on that left side, where if they go high to defend that speed out, we have a quick flat like you saw me throw right there. If they go low, or if they're playing man or something like that, we're able to hit the speed out. You see it right there? Bang. Now, you see me do it to the left. I could also do this to the right, or I could also do this to both sides. Now, can you run this for an entire game? It's kind of tough to do that, right? But is this incredibly annoying? Yeah, this is very, very annoying. So, especially if you add in that little run game. Now, next formation I want to talk about is going to be the gun normal Y off close. This one is you could run this all game if you get good inside of this playbook or inside of this formation. This is a full scheme that is incredibly good both in college football and in Madden. Is one of the most meta things in the game. Y sail is incredibly good. Red zone scissors is a really nice dynasty play. You just snap that ball. And then wheel switch is cool. Whenever you have a jet touch pass that has the halfback lead blocking, I love it. If you look at our bottom left, the jet pass fake zone, I don't love these as much. Whereas on the right, the jet touch pass with the halfback lead blocking, I love. So this formation has it, but a lot of formations do too. Most playbooks have it. And then we also have something like mesh spot here as well, which is cool. So you could build an entire scheme from here. And if we go to mesh spot, to just show you a really easy play that you could run, let's take wire triangle, right? Let's select our outside right wide receiver who's on the snag. Let's put him on an in route. But then let's actually stem this in route up about 10 yards, not too deep, about 10 to 12 yards. So it looks like this right here. You could block your halfback if you wanted to, all right? When we snap this ball, what we're going to see here is 2 very quick drags, which are going to create a little mesh underneath. This is going to do a great job of attacking zone coverage underneath, and will attack man coverage very, very well, okay? With that, we're also going to have, and you see, whenever you get tight end drags on the field, by the way, they're so good. What you'll also see, though, from this is that we can hit this in route a little bit later, right? So we hit boom, right in the middle. That's good against man coverage. That can also do good against zone as well, just depending on kind of how they're playing. And, I'm going to block my halfback here a few times just to showcase this. Bang. It will take the underneath, right? And this is one of many, many plays that can be found inside this gun normal Y off close, which is just so, so good. Gun stack Y off has a fake jet pass power with your quarterback and a jet touch pass. This can be good for short yardage. I would highly recommend, if you run this, press wire triangle at the formation screen and sub out your QB for a backup. Just so if you're running this fake or this QB power on the left, right? Let's show it. You just don't want to get worn and torn with your starting QB, okay? Right? You just don't want that. So just something to keep in mind. But this can be good for short yardage. This is actually Madden 20 when I was playing. I made a deep run in a tournament. That's actually where I got this jersey back there, and this was awesome for my red zone. So just something to keep in mind. Now, Next formation I want to talk about is the F twins over. This is kind of like the stack Y off, but it's a little bit more, it's a little bit deeper. We're going to have a jet touch pass, a jet inside zone, a jet QB power, a jet QB counter, a jet halfback counter. Like, this is kind of nuts. And a fun thing is, in this formation screen, use the right stick. You can actually put a wide receiver or a halfback at QB. And so you could run these plays without actually getting your QB getting hit ever. So, you know, you put a wide receiver there. Who cares? Okay. Something to keep in mind. Y trips, or Y off trips, I should say. Any playbook that has this formation probably has this RPO read Y flat, which is just one of the best RPOs in the game. So it's really, really good. Bang. We're just going to throw this right here. Wow, of course I don't get anything. I should have kept it in my QB. You have a read option here, and you also have a flat that you can throw pretty much whenever. It's very tough. If you play online, you'll see this get ran a ton because so many teams have this. Just something to keep in mind. Now, next one I want to talk about is going to be this gun Y off trio weak. And I want to be very clear. There's a lot of other stuff in this playbook. We don't have all day, unfortunately. And with this, plays like outs, plays like PA post dig shot, plays like cross, plays like sticking up are all incredibly, incredibly good. And there's more than just that. And if we go to a play like sticking up, just using this as an example, let's go random play. And if we just simply like slant or drag our tight end, I'll drag him right here. You're gonna create a really good route concept. You're gonna have him early potentially, or we can have post over the middle. We have a return route coming back across. Just some like, this just kills it. Like, this is so good. As I get bagged, there you go. Transparency. You can, any play can get stopped if they call the right defense. Any play. There's no, as far as I know, besides like old school like Wildcat at the beginning of this year, you can stop pretty much every play. Just so you know. Return route over the middle. So you're just making a little read over the middle of the field. Look for that slant early. Look for that drag early. Depending on what you put your tight end on. Oh, wow, we just got loop. The CPU just loop blitzed me. Let's go again. Right here. Bang. Let's go. Wow, we are getting instantly shedded. Okay, I need to end this on a good rep right here, please. Okay, we have post route. There we go. Nice little quick on catch by McMillan. There's a few plays for you out of the Bulls playbook. This is so good. Gun punch wide is really, really good as well. Under center is a little lacking, to be honest with you, out of this. But I think the power that we have here in the shotgun is just so good. If you want to skip all of the lab work, all the scheming, all the extra stuff, and you just want to get into games and start winning more, you need to check out my website, civil.gg, where we have full schemes on offense and defense that are used by over 2,000 active members right now that actually help people win more games. And if you click on the link in the top description and use code CIVIL30, you'll get 30% off and instantly unlock everything you need to become a better college football 25 player today. And now, let's get back to the video. So next up, we have the Pittsburgh playbook, and this one is a nice combination of like things that are incredibly high level, along with a lot of like gadget plays that can catch your opponent off guard. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like maybe Arizona or Auburn, but I think this is better than both of those now, actually. So we go into Pitt, we're immediately gonna go over to the doubles Y off, and they have one of those touch passes I talked about before that just has that halfback lead blocking. Always just something nice. But I want to show you a high-level pass play here out of the gun doubles Y off, which is called Y sail. We call Y sail right here. Click the left stick in, go up against a random defense. And what we want to do here is drag our slot wide receiver, okay? Double tap Y or triangle in this case and go down the right stick. That's going to get a drag, and your play is going to look like this. Now I'm going to throw in a little modification that we could add in at some point if we wanted to. But for right now, we're just going to drag that wide receiver. My eyes are immediately going to the right flat. But if I don't love it, I'm going to work my eyes back to the drag over the middle. And you see, he's going to get open a lot. I'm never going to say, I don't want to say he gets open every time, but he gets open a lot, okay? If this play, if you find yourself getting like 3 or 4 seconds on this play, you'll find the in route usually breaking open in the middle of the field, kind of like that. Now, mind you, he takes a second to get there, so, you know, you just don't have a ton of time. But you have that option. We'll go drag again. Very, very basic play, but it's a very high level. It's going to do a good job versus man and zone. Now, another addition we can make to this play is press Y or triangle, select that tight end, hold the left bumper, and go down on the left stick to get this corner route to cut faster. So he's going to develop faster and get into his route quicker, okay? Right here, I'm just going to go to the halfback. I could have hit him earlier, but still a gain of 4 right there. Definitely should have hit him earlier. And in this case, I'm going to block my halfback just because it looks like they're going to send a blitz. They do. I was right. And I'm going to go to my safety valve, which is that drag. CPU and user defenders really struggle against drag routes, so just something to keep in mind. Easy play, from Y Sail right there. This also does have a fake jet pass power, so you could keep it with your QB. Again, has some gadget type stuff. Now, if we go up to the Y off trips nasty, I mentioned before that I like Y off trips for the RPO read Y flat. This also has that from the this is Y off trips nasty. So the ISO wide receiver here, this guy, and Y off trips, the playbook we just looked at, Buffaloes, he's out here. Here he's in here. But there's also another small thing where the RPO read Y flat in the other formations has a little bit of a tell to it. The wide receivers align a little bit differently. Whereas here, there's no tell, and so you can easily run it without like tipping your cap to your opponent pre-snap. So something to keep in mind. An easy play that you could run here that's also going to be a great man beater is the play dagger whip. The reason I want to talk about this play here is because a lot of people will try running man coverage on you if you call this play. So for this, I just want to zig my ISO wide receiver, and this will just do a really good job against man. We have 2 stock zig routes, one on the left, or not stock, but one on the left right here, one on the right, and then nice little in route going over the middle, which will beat man coverage too. I had both my zigs, but I just want to showcase us. Oh, we're on Heisman, by the way. This is beating man coverage on Heisman. I promise. Bang, there we go. I just got 2 spins. I'm like, I know someone's gonna be thinking I'm trying to get him. Keep in mind that zigs do not always beat man coverage, right? There's almost really no route that beats at a 100% clip, but zigs win at a high percentage. That last, the play right before this one, my zig on the left got bagged. So just something to keep in mind. This play can do okay against zone, but it's not a zone beater. It's not meant for zone coverage. They would have to be just playing like some kind of backed off zone for this to make sense. And there's just a lot of good things inside of this as a whole. Now, if we want to get into some of the kind of more gadgety plays, I want to take you to, is it right here? Is this Y trips right here? Yes. This gun Y off trips, not to be confused with the Y off nasty, has a halfback direct snap. This is one of the best short yardage runs in the game. And you can just snap this and it gets really good blocking. Like, really just simple as that. It gets really, really good blocking. Just hut, get after it. Let's cut it in, cut it out, skirt. It's just going to do a really good job for you for the most part. And I've become a huge fan of these direct snaps. These, usually you'll see people use them in the red zone, but I actually think using them in the open field is like one of the better things you can do, right? Because it's just, I mean, they're just so good. And there's no reason really not to use them. So just something to keep in mind. These halfback direct snaps, really, really, really good. And then here, we have other decent pass plays. Spread Y offset, or spread offset, pretty solid here. And then if we move down to the Wildcat, you'll actually see that this has the jet sweep. This has a blast, the blast weak, and this also does have a jet reverse pass, which against some coverages is just gonna be a 1-play touchdown. A lot of people will not see this coming, especially if you get them like 1 time a game. We'll see. Oh, come on. One of the best ways to defend this, man coverage. Zone, though, they have to pass commit to defend this. Keep that in mind. But let's see. Can we get a... There we go. We get a good example. Over the top. Bang. So especially if you're playing somebody who's just running like a send 3, send 4, they're not really blitzing you a ton. This is a great way, if they're in zone as well, to beat them for a pretty easy touchdown if you can get that time. You've probably played somebody who's done this to you. Very, very frustrating. This blast, by the way, also really good. See if we can get some examples of us getting some big yardage, but like this is just going to do a really good job. This is great for short yardage. I would say short yardage wise, this playbook is way better than Buffalo's. Although in terms of just like pure firepower outside of more gimmicky type things, I would say that I would probably prefer Buffalo's. But again, that's not to say that this isn't good by any means. It's just I'd prefer Buffalo's, I think. But easy playbook that you can start running, especially if you want to have some fun, call some different stuff, keep your opponent off guard. Another touch pass right here. So next up, we're moving to the Wisconsin Badgers offensive playbook, which has actually been my favorite offense over the past couple weeks. This is what I've personally been running. I want to talk about a few of my favorite plays here. But first, let's actually get down into the single back, because we haven't talked about any under center up to this point. And this single back bunch tight end stretch alert bubble is very, very good. And I really run this in short yardage situations, so I'll do this on like 1st and goal or something like that. That's why my average is so low. But I love this because we have a stretch to the right, and then we can go bubble to the left. Now, this bubble does a really good job of blocking for the bubble. So, like, a lot of guys will, like, usually won't get guys just super coming free. And then when you get one-on-one opportunities off this bubble, couch 125, it's easy to make people miss, right? So it's just a really good short yardage play. I will say the stretch isn't the best thing ever, but if you're disappointed with your run stick and you don't hold turbo too fast, you can do a good, we got absolutely obliterated right there, but you can do a good job of actually picking up yardage on this. Let's go here and bang, we're able to pick up, you know, decent stuff, right? Decent short yardage. I like it. I don't love under center in general, but that's not bad. Now, in the shotgun, you know, there's a couple of touch passes, right? We have doubles Y off close, doubles Y off, which has a touch pass right here, the jet touch pass. It's decent, right? We have the Y off trips, which is going to have this RPO read Y flat, which I talked about. I like that. But a play I want to showcase here is chip corner strike out of the gun Y off trips week. Now, this right here, if we call it, I'm going to make one simple hot route, which is wire triangle, select my slot wide receiver, and put him on a streak, which is up on the left stick. Here's what the play is going to look like. And what's nice, this corner route, this outside kind of burst is he gets underneath deep thirds and quarters. So we're creating a high-low on this left side, and he cooks man for the most part. No routes 100%. He just does a really good job. So if we go here again, we can create a nice little high-low, and I actually make the wrong read. I'm going to, like, hit myself later for that. But really easy. This time, let's go underneath. Nice little high-low read on that left side that we can go to between the halfback and the wide receiver. And this time, let's go here, and we're able to throw this C route on the right side. What's really cool here, and you saw I didn't even streak that slot wide receiver every time. You don't actually have to, literally every time. So it's going to do good against man. It's going to do good against zone as well. Just some things to keep in mind. It's an easy play that I feel like most people can make the read on. And the throw here, so there's an example of that C route getting played by man. Nothing's 100%. But most people can make the read on this, I feel like. And if you get good at pass leading, you can also fit that ball into a tight window. Let's go again here to the left side. Nice little high-low, check down, make them play underneath. We're going to hit over top of them, okay? Now, this also does have a pretty decent run play, which is the inside zone split, also with the Y lead read option. There's a couple ones to keep in mind. I don't call them a ton. But if we go into trips tight end, I'm actually just going to show you my favorite play in the game, which is curl flat. I have 600 calls of it almost, and we're just going to call this play. A lot of different ways to set it up. I'll show you one of my favorites is press wire triangle, select my inside most wide receiver, and put him on a zig. Play looks like this. I'm going to, like, easiest thing to do against most people, you can throw that zig. Like in the seam, like I did right there. A lot of people, you just bang, bang. Right, boom. Throw that zig in the seam. Bang. Easy peasy. Now, you do have the ability to throw the flat. The tight end's really good, and the angle route going over the middle can be very good as well. Let's hit that tight end corner route. Bad throw by the QB. Is that Patrick Mahomes? Wait, no, I'm thinking of Nebraska. Different red team. Who is that? What's his name? Raiola? I can't remember. Is it Danny Raiola? I know it. I just can't think of it. Whatever. So, really easy play. Right there, I actually had the flat, but just nonetheless. This also has a formation that I love called gun cluster. Also really fast. I love the play RPO read bubble from gun spread offset. But gun cluster is really cool. I've ran this in some other playbooks throughout the year as well. And the play verticals is probably my favorite. There's a million ways to set this up, but if you wanted to just snap the ball, you absolutely could. And it just does a really good job right here. It's going to bomb cover 2. So that's nice, right? We like that. It's going to do a good job against zone specifically, but it can beat man. It's more of a zone beater. And then we also have a decent run play here out of 45 quick base, which does a good job. Now, whenever you have a pulling guard run like this, where he's going to end up lead blocking, so anything that really just isn't like a trap, you need a guard who can kind of pull fast. So ideally, acceleration, COD, and speed are like some things you'd care about right here. And so right there, he does a good job. We just get a little bit blown up. But this playbook as a whole isn't great in the run game. Besides, I do like the under center. But besides that, I mean, this has a lot of stuff that I love. Bunch strong wide is a great formation too. Also, we talked about gun ace earlier. Well, this has gun deuce or pistol deuce, which is essentially the same thing. And so this is the same alignment as what we were doing from Buffalo earlier. And so we can kind of do that same idea. We get man coverage on the left side. Actually, man coverage can do a good job against those deep speed out routes sometimes if they're pressed. Something to keep in mind. Right here, let's go bang. Oh, wow, we'll just go underneath. But this works literally the exact same. Just doing the same thing from a slightly different formation. And that's how you can build a lot of offenses to be very good and kind of take these maybe even more meta concepts and apply them in an off-meta way. Now, next up, we have probably the most popular playbook right now in College Football 25, which is Michigan's. Now, I'd want to take a little bit of a different approach on this. And first, as a Michigan man myself, I'm from Michigan. I'm not like a huge Michigan fan, but I'm from Michigan, so I support them, of course, right? They represent our state, and they do a good job. There is some irony in Michigan having one of the best offensive playbooks, and that irony, you probably know what it is. They're not great at offense in real life. But let's talk about two of the best run plays in this game, which is out of the gunwing pair and gunwing tight Z. And there's a few other examples, but I want to talk about duo. Duo out of shotgun, any kind of duo run is incredibly good. Like, these bad boys just get after it. And especially when you start stacking the box like we have right here with the tight ends, this can be kind of a nasty little run right here. And we actually have a nice run to pair with it too. Keep in mind, you can cut this in like different directions. And you just get downhill with it. But let's see if I can cut it all the way to the right. Boop. And like, not a good example of doing it, but like, to show that you can do it. Like right there, bang. And for the most part, right there, oh, we get kind of sticky. All right, so we have the duo, but then we also gonna have a halfback stretch of shotgun, which you really can't find, I don't think, anywhere else, actually. So we go halfback stretch, HB stretch is called. And this is just gonna get to the outside. Now, you can cut this up if you'd like. You can cut it all the way back. You can cut it all the way outside. A few different things we could do with this. Right here, bang. I'm actually gonna, I tried doing weight, it worked out. I tried cutting it all the way back to look cool for YouTube, and it was just stupid to try that. Bang. Cut it up now. Okay. Boom. So really easy little mini run scheme that you could do there, along with a play like Titan or all go, which if I was to call all go, I'd drag this guy and streak my halfback. This is a great play. Drag the middle tight end, streak the halfback. This is one of the best like passing plays you can actually run. It's just the personnel isn't great, right? Like, that's a fast wide receiver. It's probably a massive gain. That instead it's a fat tight end. Wing tight Z has that same duo, okay? Outside of that, this playbook comes down to the bunch strong offset, the X nasty, and then the tray offset. Now, bunch strong offset, there's a lot of stuff already out there. We've talked about this a ton. I just want to showcase the play flood really fast. And to show it, let's go up against a random defense. And we're going to stem this tight end corner route down. That's the only hot route I want you making. So let's press wire triangle, select him, hold left bumper, and go down the left stick to get him around this. It's just going to make him develop faster. Now, this tight end corner route, he can do a good job against man. He'll do a good job against zone because he's going to create a flood concept on the right. And then on the back side of this, we have a nice little in route, okay? So let's see if we can... I should just be willing to throw the flat if it's there. That's where your eyes should go first. It's just I was trying to hit this in route, so, you know, I got stubborn. Let's go here again. Right there, you see that in route's going to do a good job against man coverage. He's very, very good against that. All deep ins do a good job against man. And we have man again right here. Guess who's going to be open? In route. And he actually develops kind of fast, right? It's not like, it's not bad by any means. He develops at a pretty decent pace. Let's go here. We can also throw this tight end corner in that area with a down and outside pass lead, which is kind of hitting him in the seam. So just another area that you were able to attack with this, right? Wow, we got instantly shedded, but X was getting open. Let's go here again really fast, just to show it. You can even hit him in like kind of a really tight window, although I should have hit my flat right there. So an easy play to the gun bunch strong offset. There's, of course, a ton of, a lot more stuff that we can do from this. When we get into the tray offset, this is going to have a really good run game with the inside zone, with the RPO alert screen. Power O is decent. There's just a lot of like decent run play style things that we could do here. And if I was to call a play, let's go level sail. Let's go random defense. And I actually want to get on a hash mark to get my tight end on the short side of the field, okay? Now with this, I'm going to streak my halfback, and I'm going to flat the middle slot wide receiver. So it looks like this right here. This is a really good play. What this is going to do is that we have the ability to hit underneath. We have the ability to hit the tight end deep. And we have a nice little like backside in route here as well. Let's go here, backside in. We're able to hit him if we don't get shedded instantly, right? Let's go here again. Backside in, able to hit him. Cool. And right there, I didn't even look at the my tight end side. I should have, but I didn't. Let's go here. This time we should be able to hit tight end. No. Well, we'll hit the in route then instead. Cool. Notice how you really shouldn't be making predetermined reads, right? Pretty much every single time, like I'm actually reading the field, or at least I'm trying to. And the worst results I get on any of these plays that I show you guys are plays that I try like showing off a certain route, right? Where I'm like, hey, look at this in route, and it's like, well, yeah, you can't make predetermined reads. Like, you just can't. And it ends badly consistently. That time we're able to hit that corner route. Michigan's playbook is just really good. We also have this probably the best, like, especially here, like under center type runs that we have. I form close, I form wing over, I form tight, single back. Like, if you want to pound the rock, this is probably the playbook you want. And I'm not going super in depth with it, but we have a like bunch strong might be the best passing formation in the game. We have a full breakdown, full scheme on this over on civil.gg with the best player in the world, D-Croft, breaking this entire thing down. This offense he ran to win $25,000. We talk so much on this channel about what is the actual best thing to do, best plays to call, all that other stuff. And truth be told, this is not one of the best playbooks in the game, but this is one of the most unique playbooks in the game. And I'm talking about the Liberty offensive playbook. Now, this has a ton of what's called two-back sets, okay? Now, a two-back set is essentially where you have a quarterback and then two running backs off of them. And we have this in pistol, you can see this, and we also have this in shotgun a ton. Now, with this comes a lot of triple option plays. I want to talk about which ones I like and which ones I want you to avoid. And a lot of people like the idea of like gun split tight, right? This formation, if we come out here, we have a triple option right, we have a triple option left. You know, you come out here, you're like, man, this is some ground and pound type, yeah, type football, yeah. My issue with this, I made the wrong read right there. And we'll talk about some other issues with the option game too. But my issue with this is that the read keys can bump a ton. We're so compressed right here that these guys will a lot of times like kind of bump. Like you kind of see right there, he kind of like shrugs his shoulder. And it can just make the logic behind them kind of weird. And so it's something that I try to avoid running triple option from these tight sets. The other thing to keep in mind, this is why triple option can be so tough sometimes, is because if you mess up the read, when you pass the ball, if you mess up the read, a lot of times you don't even pick it. Like a lot of times it's incompletion. If you mess up the read while running the ball, you know, it's whatever. You mess up the read here, you get that crazy pitch back that goes 10 yards behind you. Maybe you recover it and it's 2nd and 20, or maybe they just get it. So I prefer something like gun split slot right here, which is going to give us a triple option left, and then we're also going to get a triple option right, and we're a lot more spread out. This gives us more passing options, which, look, the fact of the matter is that if you want to run the ball at a high clip, you need to be able to pass the ball a little bit, okay? You don't need to be the best passer in the world, but you need to be able to throw the rock a little bit. And this type of formation gives us the ability to do some cool stuff. Let's go to something like, if we even went to something as simple as, and I don't even have like a great pass play off the top of my head for this. Let's go to something like PA flood, okay? And let's go random play on defense. We have a basic flood concept to the right. Let's take our outside left wide receiver, put him on one of those deep out routes, and halfback can do this or he can block. The reason I like this is that they have to respect the run, right? And then from this, we're able to hit some very common route combos that are good, right? Right here, I'm gonna go to the right side, hit the halfback flat, hopefully get a better catch animation to get more rack from this. But we need you have to respect the run game, or the pass game, I'm sorry. You have to, or else if you don't make them respect it, you just won't be able to do much. Like, seriously. So that's why I like something like split slot. I think the run game is actually better from this, especially with the triple options. And I think the run game or the pass game is so much better. We also do have something like a basic read option, which is cool. A load option, which I would never really run. Power reads, whatever. Inside zone split is something I would call. So something to keep in mind. Now, out of the pistol, again, something like strong, tight, I really wouldn't call the triple option stuff from this because I just don't love triple option from these types of sets. If you wanted to call like the halfback stretch or the motion duo, sure. It's just not my cup of tea. But something like strong slot, we have a jet touch pass. That's nasty. Power option, triple option. We have another triple option here as well right there. And so we have some cool stuff in here that actually makes this very viable that I'm personally a massive fan of. And then in terms of actual passing, we have some okay formations here. If we go to something like Y off trips weak, we can call play like, let's go high-low dig. And this can be similar to some other plays that we've called. You can just snap this ball. You have a nice high-low on the left side. It's okay. It's not the best. Really, though, nice little zig. Really, though, the reason you would call or run this playbook is something a little bit different, a little bit option-based that can actually still work at a high level, which a lot of the option schemes in this game can just be tough, right? I think this playbook gives you the best the best like probability to have success running a fun, cool, and unique scheme. Now, if you enjoyed this video, you got value from it, and you want just full schemes, you want to deep dive this stuff, you want to actually start winning more games, check out my website, civil.gg, join over 2,000 active members, and use code CIVIL30, get a cool 30% off right now.